I had a really interesting conversation right now with a potential client, and she's just starting a very interesting business where she is helping companies to kind of understand in which areas they need to improve, they need to systematize, and that will put them on a path to growth. The problem is that in this space where she is, there's many implementers, right? People who are specialists in one particular software, and she does not want to do that. She wants to be like the person who comes before all those implementers, somebody who objectively helps the company to fully understand what they need to do in which particular area is the biggest pain point, where's the biggest bottleneck that keeps them from growing, because that is not easy to identify. And then the company needs to have an independent person. They cannot have, okay, I am the Asana person, right? No, of course, the Asana person will always recommend you Asana. But if you have an independent person who's really good at understanding your bottlenecks and then can tell you, okay, this is where your biggest problem is, and that's why you need to optimize your current CRM situation or project management tool, whatever it is. And so this conversation with her then led to her telling me that she's already working with a LinkedIn coach. And I was thinking, that's great. That's fine. However, then we realized that, well, what does that LinkedIn coach help her with? This person helps her with effectively growing on LinkedIn, and she's doing very well on her LinkedIn. Has a relatively small following, but already now has very good engagement. She writes well, and that's all great. The problem is that LinkedIn coaching is just one small step in the entire process. And I like to use this visual of a bridge that helps you to getting towards abundance. Meaning, if you're a solo consultant, you basically just want to have enough business that sustains you and that helps you grow and that helps you work on the problems that you want to work on. So I call that the bridge towards abundance. And then there's several stepping stones in that bridge. And the issue is that the LinkedIn coach helps her only on the marketing and content side. And there's simply far more planks in the bridge to cross. There is working on your strategy. Okay, so strategy would be, what are currently your strengths and weaknesses? And how can you leverage the strengths and mitigate your weaknesses so that you can maximize earnings wherever that is, over the short term or the long run? That is strategy. Then you need to work on your positioning. Okay, so within that strategy that you've identified, you've already selected one. Okay, I do this and I'm good at this and I have the network here and this is how I'm going to leverage all of that. That's strategy. And then the positioning is, okay, how do you come across to your audience? Who are the people that you want to really target? Why should they work with you? How do you differentiate yourself against the competition and all of that? That is positioning. And then also is like persona. Are you the right person to do this? And if not, how can you mold yourself into being the right person that can help people in this space? So that's like one major, I already packed like 3 things into this. This is like one major foundational stepping stone. Your typical, and I don't want to in any way badmouth competition, but what I've seen in the world of LinkedIn coaching is that many people in this space, and all credit to them for getting, good audiences and winning a lot of likes and comments, but they don't really have a framework for working on that, on working on your strategy, working on your positioning, creating an attractive persona. And that is pretty key. It's a first stepping stone, because, and this is what I just had with my prospect there, with my hopefully future client. Let's see, but because I'd love to work with her. We get along on a personal level really well, but that's less relevant. What she's struggling with is that she's doing great on content, but she's simply amplifying something that does not have a strong foundation. And that's the issue. That's the big problem here. You are creating attention for something that is built on sand currently. And that is not me knocking her by any stretch of the imagination. She has not done the work. She has not gone through this entire thinking process of building your strategy. And as I'm talking about strategy, I really recommend the book Good Strategy, Bad Strategy by, I think Rumelt is his name, Richard Rumelt. It's 10 years old, but timeless. Really excellent book. So that's that, right? Once you have these things in place, then comes the next plank. Like, what is the product? What is the actual package that you will be offering? If you were now, sitting on a plane next to an ideal target client, what would you be telling them about your business? What would that value proposition be? Once you have that kind of a package where you can rattle it off, you have 6 major points. First we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and so on. It's like very, very clear what you're going to be doing with them, so that you want that look of recognition on their faces, like, yeah, that's exactly what I need. That process, somebody taking me through that process, boy, that would really be quite something. And then comes prospecting and sales. Yes, it comes before marketing. I know not many consultants or coaches or solopreneurs, whatever you call yourself, like to hear this, but sales and prospecting comes first, right? Before marketing. You have to talk to people. Part of sales and prospecting is effectively validation. You just need to go out there, need to put yourselves out there in front of people, getting them on the phone and asking them a few questions. And getting them on the phone does not mean pitching to them. It really is understanding their situation and only suggesting that there could be a solution if you feel that there really is something, that there could be a fit with what you do. Most people get that wrong. Most people, when they think, oh my God, I'm going to get prospects on the phone, I need to immediately start selling to them. I didn't sell to this lady at all today. I just told her, like, this is where your gaps might be, and this is how I might be able to fill them. But I didn't sell to her. I didn't do a hard sell or anything like that. It's just we are getting to know each other. When you do consultative selling, when you work on this level, where most importantly in this context is good to have reasonably high prices so that you can afford to do this kind of stuff, right? I couldn't be doing this if I were charging, $100 the hour or something like this. I don't charge by the hour. I charge for solutions. And that's why when you have this approach, it's a virtuous circle, because you start to take time for your prospects. You are not desperate to make the sale. And because you're not desperate to make a sale, you build a much better connection. Because of that better connection, you then are able to close way more people because they trust you. They don't believe that you are trying to talk them into something that is not for them. And all of that is a virtuous circle that feeds itself. Then, because you have more prospects, you can charge more because you can afford to lose the occasional prospect. You don't have to charge rock bottom prices. And then, because you are charging well, you again have more time to dedicate to prospects. So all of that needs to be in place before you start doing marketing. Of course, you should put out a little bit of content here and there. That's fine. But purely doing marketing only, and this is the honeypot trap that so many consultants get stuck in. They say, okay, yeah, I'm going to start selling something. And then they go on LinkedIn and they put out content. And this is the somewhat mirage that many of the LinkedIn coaches are selling, is that, yeah, just get likes and comments and you're going to be selling in no time. Well, if you don't have these other things in place, strategy, positioning, persona, product, prospecting and sales, if you don't have that in place, imagine what's going to happen. So you're putting out content, and let's say you get a couple of leads and you don't really know how to close somebody on a high ticket. I just hate this word, high ticket. I can't get it over me, but whatever, it's being used now. If you don't know what to do with someone when you have them on a call, and you have not yet confidently sold a 2K, 3K, 5K, even more solution, you're not going to be good at that. So you need to have these things in place so that when somebody comes, that then you're confident to do that. So prospecting and sales comes before, and then marketing and content. And so this is the main block that the LinkedIn coaches are focusing on. Yeah, we're going to help you with marketing and content. They do the persona work sometimes a little bit kind of superficially, but that's then it, right? And then there come things like community and being creative and finding new ways for lead generation, for demand generation, and all that. And then systems and processes. This is then the advanced side of things. But the first four are really the key building blocks: strategy, positioning, persona, product, prospecting and sales, and marketing. Those four needs to be in place so that you can get your first client successfully. And it's just something I wanted to mention now, because I just had this call with this wonderful lady, and it it brought into the foreground again, to me, this issue that many consultants have is that they are active on LinkedIn. They maybe get good traction with content, but not much else is happening because of that problem, because they have not done that foundational work. So that's it from me. Hope that was useful, and have a great weekend.